Sabha Television, the perfect show to kickstart your day, where we bring to you the biggest national, international sports and business news, starting with the headlines. GST Council reaches a broad consensus on CGST law, vexed issue of jurisdiction over assessors to be taken up today. Delhi Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung resigns, citing personal reasons. AAP says move has come as a surprise. Congress asks Centre to clarify on unceremonious exit. Prime Minister Modi targets Rahul Gandhi and Congress questions its opposition to demonetization. Congress Vice President asks Prime Minister to respond to his charges of graft. National Green Tribunal puts complete ban on burning waste in open places across the country. Fine of 25,000 rupees on every incident of bulk waste burning. And after Putin's call for bolstering Russia's military nuclear potential, Donald Trump says US must expand nuke capabilities. US State Department clarifies Trump was referring to preventing nuclear proliferation. Well, the all-powerful GST Council on Thursday reached a broad consensus on the CGST law, but uncertainty still remains on the vexed issue of jurisdiction over assessors under the proposed goods and tax regime. Now, on the first day of the two-day meeting of the state finance ministers chaired by Union Finance Minister Arun Jaitley, it cleared most of the 197 clauses of the CGST, while it is the seventh meeting of the council. Today, the Council is likely to take up the contentious issue of cross-empowerment of centre and states to avoid dual control over assessors in the new indirect tax regime. Now, news agency PTI quoted sources as saying that the IGST, which also deals with the jurisdiction over the tax assessors, will also be discussed. It said that the issue requires more discussion as there is diversion of opinion between the states and centre as to who will tax which set of assessors. Parliament has amended the constitution for the introduction of GST, which seeks to subsume various state and central levies. However, as consensus alluded in the earlier meeting of the council, the subsequent GST legislations, that is CGST, IGST and the compensation law, could not be introduced in winter session of Parliament this year.
We've completed the entire law subject to a lot of
CGST,
no, we're still looking at IGST and CGST. The next meeting also cross-empowerment, but the other parts have all been cleared. So we've gone through the entire law. Basic GST model law has been concluded, subject to a lot of things which we have kept on the side, like the IGST architectural issue, like the issue of cross-empowerment. That will come up for discussion tomorrow, including compensation.
On to some other news now. Well, National Investigation Agency or the NIA arrested a mastermind of fake currency racket from Delhi International Airport. Well, Abdul Salam alias Podi Salam was arrested late on a Thursday night after being deported from Saudi Arabia. Now, Salam is wanted in a 2013 case of smuggling fake currency worth 9.7 lakh rupees from Pakistan into India via Gulf. Meanwhile, the Election Commission has asked the Central Board of Direct Taxes or CBDT to look into the finances of 255 registered but unrecognized political parties it has unlisted this year for not contesting polls in the last 1 decade. Well, in a letter sent out to the CBDT chairman, the Election Commission sought necessary action in view of the provisions listed in Section 29B and 29C of the Representation of People Act 1951 against parties that are violating this law. Now, Section 29B states that every political party may accept any amount of contribution voluntarily offered to it by any person or company other than the government company. Meanwhile, in another development, the Income Tax Department identified an additional 67.54 lakh potential non-filers who carried out high-value transactions in 2014-15 but did not file income returns. Well, the non-filers monitoring system was initiated by CBDT to identify people with the potential tax liabilities. Now, non-filers have been identified based on information available in the annual information returns and TDS or TCS databases. A big story coming in from the national capital. Well, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung has resigned. Well, he has cited personal reasons for the sudden move. The Aam Aadmi Party, however, has suggested that the reasons could be different. Well, the Congress wants the centre to explain what it claims is an unceremonious exit. The BJP blames the Lieutenant Governor's extended standoff with AAP behind his surprise decision.
In a surprise move, Delhi Lieutenant Governor Najeeb Jung submitted his resignation on Thursday. In a brief statement, Jung's office said he would be returning to his first love, academics.
He will go back to academics. He will spend holidays. He will spend time with his family. He is in touch with certain universities in US, and most probably he will take up some teaching assignment.
The sudden decision triggered speculation on the reasons. The Aam Aadmi Party, while maintaining that it was surprised at the move, took a dig at the LG, saying he worked under the influence of Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
पहले मीडिया से ही पता चला और फिर मैंने एलजी साहब को फ़ोन किया. उन्होंने कहा कि वो पर्सनल कारणों से उन्होंने इस्तीफ़ा दिया है. तो मैं भगवान से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि ज़िंदगी में वो जो भी आगे करें उसमें उनको सफलता मिले.
मैं अपनी तरफ से सरकार की तरफ से उनको बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं देता हूं उनके आगे के प्लानिंग्स के लिए, जो भी भविष्य में वो प्लानिंग करेंगे. पिछले 2 साल में और उससे पहले 49 डेज के दौरान उनके साथ काम किया. बहुत अच्छा खट्टा मीठा कई तरह का उनके साथ अनुभव रहा है.
The BJP, on the other hand, alleged that the LG was upset with the AAP government. Jung's 3.5-year tenure was marked by frequent run-ins with the Kejriwal government. It began with the AAP's 49-day stint in 2013-14 over Jung's objection to the tabling of the Jan Lokpal bill in the Delhi Assembly. In the AAP's second term, standoffs over appointment of Shakuntala Gamlin as Chief Secretary and the anti-corruption branch became other issues. Friction worsened over the appointment of Swati Maliwal as Chief of the Delhi Commission for Women in July last year.
ये सब प्रेसिडेंशियल सिस्टम है, महामहिम राष्ट्रपति जी की व्यवस्था है और उसके तहत ही चलता है. जो संवैधानिक सिस्टम है उसी को केंद्र सरकार भी पूरी ईमानदारी से संचालित करती है. अब अरविंद केजरीवाल जैसे लोग जो दिल्ली को छल प्रपंच धोखे में पीछे ढकेलते जा रहे हैं, ऐसे में उनके बयानों का अब कोई बहुत मतलब नहीं रह जाता है. ये उनका निजी निर्णय है नजीब जंग साहब का और उनके उत्तम स्वास्थ्य और भविष्य के लिए शुभकामना करते हैं.
The Congress, on the other hand, raised questions over Jung's move and demanded that the centre explain the reasons behind what the party called was an unceremonious exit. The party asked the centre to clarify if it was done to bring in an RSS-supported person in place of Jung.
अगर केंद्र सरकार ने इस वक्त एक अनसेरेमोनियस एग्जिट नजीब जंग जी को मिला है तो उसके पीछे कारण बताएं और क्या डील हुई है नजीब जंग को हटाने के पीछे केजरीवाल और नरेंद्र मोदी के बीच में, उसके बारे में जानकारी दें.
The MHA top brass also seems to have no indication of the LG's move. Home Secretary Rajiv Mehershi said that he met the LG 2 days ago and got no indication. Another meeting with the LG is also slated for today. In his resignation letter, Jung thanked the Prime Minister for his help and cooperation and Chief Minister Kejriwal for his association. He also thanked the people of Delhi for their support. A 1973 batch IS officer, Jung assumed charge as the 19th Lieutenant Governor of Delhi on July 9, 2013, 5 months before the Delhi Assembly elections. The then Chief Minister, Sheila Dikshit, had played a role in appointing Jung, who was serving as the Vice-Chancellor of Jamia Millia University, to the top post in the city administration. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And Prime Minister Narendra Modi hit out at the critics of demonetization, alleging that just the way Pakistan gives cover fire to terrorists, the opposition is covering corrupt people. The Prime Minister also urged the youth to help him in his mission and move towards online banking. Now, reserving his taunt for Congress, Vice President Rahul Gandhi, who had promised to expose him, Prime Minister Modi said that Rahul Gandhi exposes himself every time he speaks.
A day after the Congress vice president accused him of receiving crores in kickbacks as Chief Minister of Gujarat, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Thursday took a dig at Rahul Gandhi. In a speech dripping with sarcasm, he chose to attack the Congress leadership in order to defend the measures his government has taken for the country.
जब से उन्होंने बोलना सीखा है और बोलना शुरू किया है, मेरी खुशी का कोई पार नहीं है। न बोलते तो बड़ा भूकंप आ जाता था और देश को इतना बड़ा भूकंप झेलना पड़ता, ये देश 10 साल तक उभर नहीं सकता था। लेकिन अच्छा हुआ कि बोलना शुरू हो गया तो पता चल रहा है भूकंप की संभावना बची नहीं, क्योंकि देश की जनता समझ गई।
On Wednesday, in the Prime Minister's hometown Mehsana in Gujarat, Rahul Gandhi alleged that income tax rates had revealed that the Sahara Group paid off Modi 9 times in 6 months since 2013. He also said that computer records from a Birla Group official during raids in 2013 refer to bribes to Gujarat CM. The Supreme Court had earlier said it didn't find any merit in these allegations.
ये क्या कर रहे हैं उनको भी समझ नहीं है, लेकिन अच्छा है किसी का काला धन खुल रहा है तो किसी का काला मन खुल रहा है।
The Prime Minister's broadside also included his predecessor Manmohan Singh.
कि 1970-72 से वो देश की अर्थव्यवस्था की कोर टीम में हमेशा रहे हैं। इतने लंबे सर तक और इतने साफ कुशलता देखो, कोई दाग उन पर नहीं लगता है। जब मैं कैशलेस की बात करता हूं, उन्होंने कहा कि जिस देश में 50% लोग गरीब हो, वहां ये टेक्नोलॉजी वगैरह कैसे हो सकता है। अब मुझे बताओ भाई, ये वो अपना रिपोर्ट कार्ड दे रहे हैं कि मेरा दे रहे हैं?
Manmohan Singh has critiqued Modi's decision to ban high-value currency notes. In a newspaper editorial titled "Making of a Mammoth Tragedy," Dr. Singh predicted a ripple effect on GDP and job creation and grievous injury to the honest Indian due to the demonetization decision of the Modi government. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, political leaders across parties lashed out at Prime Minister Narendra Modi over his speech at Varanasi over demonetization. Let's take a listen.
जो भाषण उन्होंने दिया है और बनारस में जिस तरह डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह के खिलाफ बोले हैं, देखो कोई अगर सही बात कहे और तो बजाय उसके कुछ चीज को समझना चाहिए। निंदक नीरे राखी आंगन कुटी छवाए। बड़े लोगों ने कहा है कि आप अगर सही व्यक्ति आलोचना करता है तो आपको सुनना चाहिए। आप कोई भी खिलाफ बोले उसको एकदम उसके खिलाफ हो जाते हैं। मनमोहन सिंह ऐसा व्यक्ति कभी किसी के खिलाफ बोलते ही नहीं। अगर संसद में उठ के उन्होंने एक अर्थशास्त्री रहे, विश्व बैंक में रहे, भारत रिजर्व बैंक के गवर्नर रहे, वित्त मंत्री रहे, प्रधानमंत्री 10 साल रहे हैं। आप तो अभी 2.5 साल हुए, उनको तो 10 साल प्रधानमंत्री। अगर वो कोई बात कह रहे हैं तो समझो कि किस लिए कह रहे हैं। आप अगर किसी ने भी जरा भी आलोचना कर दी तो हम बर्दाश्त नहीं करेंगे, तो इसका बहुत खराब असर जाता है।
देश मानने वाला नहीं है, टोटल फ्लॉप कर गए। नोटबंदी पर टोटल फ्लॉप कर गए हैं और इनको अब गोवा में जो भाषण किए थे वो भाषण को एक एक बात को रट लो और उसके लिए तैयार रहे।
देखिए, नरेंद्र मोदी जी वैसे तो बहुत ईमानदार बनते हैं और अपने आप को हरिश्चंद्र कहते हैं, कहलाना चाहते हैं, लेकिन हकीकत क्या है ये अब सामने आ रहा है। इससे पहले भी प्रशांत जी ने हाई कोर्ट में और सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एक याचिका दायर की थी और अब राहुल जी ने विस्तार से जो डायरी आईटी को मिली थी उस डायरी के बारे में तमाम बातों का खुलासा किया है। तो स्पष्ट है नरेंद्र मोदी जी के जो अपने ऊपर एक ईमानदारी का चादर ओढ़े हुए हैं, ये ज़्यादा दिनों तक नहीं चलेगा और देश की जनता को इनके असली स्वरूप इनका नज़र आ जाएगा।
I think Mr. Modi should stand in front of a mirror and see his own image.
Well, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi seemed unfazed by his attack by the Prime Minister. Now, sticking to his guns about personal corruption done by the Prime Minister, he reiterated that the questions he had raised at the Mehsana rally. He also asked the Prime Minister whether any money was indeed given to him.
Unfazed by the Prime Minister ridiculing his charge of personal corruption, Rahul Gandhi on Thursday stuck to his guns, reiterating his charges against the PM. Raking up the issue of corruption once again, he asked Narendra Modi what was in the 10 packets allegedly given to him by the Sahara Group when he was the Gujarat Chief Minister.
नरेंद्र मोदी जी, ये सवाल मैंने आपसे नहीं पूछा। ये सवाल हिंदुस्तान के युवा ने, हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोगों ने आपसे पूछे हैं। सवाल ये है कि प्रधानमंत्री ने भ्रष्टाचार किया या नहीं। आप मेरा जितना मजाक उड़ाना चाहते हो उड़ाओ, मगर आप देश के युवाओं का और मेरे सवाल का जवाब दो।
Earlier, the Prime Minister had ridiculed the Congress leader, saying he was happy that Gandhi has finally learned to speak. However, the Congress leader continued his tirade against the Prime Minister. He said his party would support the NDA government in its fight against corruption, but also emphasized that demonetization or note ban was not against black money, but the poor of India.
अगर बीजेपी की सरकार, एनडीए की सरकार भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ कोई भी कदम उठाए, छोटा से छोटा कदम, बड़ा कदम, कांग्रेस पार्टी उनको पूरा समर्थन देगी, 100% समर्थन देगी। मगर नोटबंदी का ये जो डिसीजन था, ये भ्रष्टाचार के खिलाफ नहीं था, ये काले धन के खिलाफ नहीं था, ये हिंदुस्तान के गरीब लोगों के खिलाफ था, ये हिंदुस्तान के कमजोर लोगों के खिलाफ था।
At a rally in the PM's home turf in Gujarat's Mehsana on Wednesday, Rahul had accused Modi of taking money from Sahara and Birla groups when he was the Gujarat Chief Minister. BJP had rejected the Congress leader's allegations as baseless, shameful and malified. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news now. Well, a National Green Tribunal now has put a complete ban on burning waste in open places across the country. Well, NGT also announced a fine of 25,000 rupees on every incident of bulk waste burning. Well, the order came on Thursday by a bench headed by NGT chairperson Justice Swatantra Kumar, which also directed all the states and union territories to enforce and implement solid waste management rules of year 2016. The panel also asked the Environment Ministry and all states to pass appropriate directions in relation to the ban on short-life PVC and chlorinated plastics within a period of 6 months. The Green Court further held that non-biodegradable waste and non-recyclable plastic should be segregated from the landfill sites and used for construction of roads as well as embankments in all road projects all over the country. Well, in Breakfast Bulletin, we'll take a very short break. Up next, we have all the international news. Now, the Syrian government has said that the city of Aleppo is now under their control. All the details on that after a short break. In both the districts is enforced as a precautionary measure. On Thursday, Home Minister Rajnath Singh came down heavily on the governments of both Manipur as well as Nagaland for failing to resolve the economic blockade on the National Highway 2, which has throttled the supply of essential goods to the two states. In fact, in a scathing letter to Manipur Chief Minister Ibobi, Rajnath Singh said that the state government has not taken any steps to ensure that the NH2 is kept open, despite Home Ministry officials being in constant touch with the state officials. Similarly, in a strongly worded letter to Nagaland Chief Minister T.R. Zeliang, The Home Minister told him to ensure that there is no disturbance of movement of vehicles going through his state, as there have been reports of Naga Students Federation calling the blockade of vehicles in Nagaland. Meanwhile, a delegation of Manipur BJP earlier met Home Minister Rajnath Singh and sought the centre's intervention in ending the blockade in Manipur, as it claimed that the state government had failed to protect the interests of the people despite providing adequate security forces.
नागा काउंसिल का माध्यम से ब्लॉकेज जो कॉल हुआ और जो इम्फाल वैली है, मणिपुर का जो वैली है, वहाँ पे काफ़ी नुकसान हो रहा है क्योंकि रास्ता बंद है और यहाँ नेशनल लेवल में लोगों को पता नहीं है, काफ़ी क्राइसिस चल रहा है। तो हम लोग खुद जा रहे हैं देखने के लिए ताकि वहाँ समस्या का हल निकालने के लिए कोई रास्ता ढूंढ सके और राज्य सरकार को भी हम कहेंगे कि उनकी जो संवैधानिक उनके दायित्व हैं वो भी निभाना चाहिए।
Even after providing the adequate security forces, state government is not doing well. So people are not getting the essential commodities, day-to-day materials. So we requested to the Home Minister. The Home Minister has assured that he will do something to break the economic blockade on the national highway.
Well, the National Investigation Agency has filed a charge sheet against 8 people for allegedly attempting to carry out a terror strike by using explosive devices similar to those used by Islamic State during the November 2015 Paris attacks. Well, the charge sheet was filed before a special NIA court in Hyderabad using Explosive Substances Act, Arms Act and Unlawful Activities Prevention Act of the Indian Penal Code. Now, NIA in its charge sheet also said that electronic gadgets, mobile phones, hard disks, also semi-automatic pistols and air rifles were recovered during raids, which can be used for preparation of a TATP, which is an explosive material which was used in Paris attacks, in which 129 people lost their lives. Now, look at the events lined up for the day. Here is the day ahead. The Patiala House Court is to take up a hearing today on the bail plea of former Air Chief SP Tyagi, who has been under arrest since 9th of December in the 3,600 crore rupees Augusta Westland chopper scam. Earlier, the court had postponed a hearing on the bail plea as the CBI told the court that it needed more time to present the case, as it had to obtain large volumes of information to interrogate Tyagi and the 2 other accused. The Madras High Court is likely to give its verdict today on the plea filed by rebel AIA-DMK leader Sasikala Pushpa. On Thursday, Sasikala had threatened to contest the election for the post of General Secretary, depending on what the Madras High Court says on her plea for maintaining status quo on the issue. Now, denying that she had been expelled from the party, Pushpa asserted that she still remains the party MP. Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party National Convener Arvind Kejriwal will be in Jaipur today to address a rally on demonetization. Kejriwal is likely to tell people how the Narendra Modi government is misleading the nation on the issue of demonetization. The Delhi Chief Minister had recently announced that he would hold a string of rallies across the country over demonetization. On to some international news now. Well, US President-elect Donald Trump called on Thursday for an expansion of the US nuclear capabilities. Well, the call has alarmed non-proliferation experts who said that a boost to the US arsenal could fuel global tensions. Well, the US President-elect, who takes office next month, said that the US must take such action until the world comes to its senses regarding nukes. Well, the comment came hours after President of Russia, Vladimir Putin, said that his country needs to bolster its military nuclear potential. Well, Trump gave no other details about his plans, but his comment immediately triggered fears that the next US president will reverse decades of policy in which the nation, along with Russia, sought to reduce its nuclear arsenal. Now, the US State Department, however, later said that he was referring to the need to prevent nuclear proliferation. News from the Middle East now, and the Syrian army has said that it has retaken full control of Aleppo following the evacuation of the last group of rebels from there. In a statement, the army said that it had returned security to Aleppo and called it a crushing blow to the rebels. Now, this is the biggest victory for President Bashar al-Assad since the uprising against him began in 2011. Now, at least 34,000 civilians as well as rebel fighters have been removed from eastern Aleppo over the past 1 week. Now, heavy snow, strong winds and poor state of vehicles have slowed the evacuation, forcing thousands of people to wait for hours in freezing conditions. Meanwhile, the United Nations, which is monitoring the pullout, called the process traumatic, with crowding and vulnerable people waiting for hours and exposed to sub-zero temperatures. The evacuees from eastern Aleppo are being taken to the rebel-held territory in the countryside west of the city and in Idlib province. Well, as part of a deal brokered by Russia and Turkey, residents of the government-controlled towns of Foa and Kefraya in Idlib province, besieged by the rebels, are also being removed.
عن القيادة العامة للجيش والقوات المسلحة بفضل دماء شهدائنا الأبرار وبطولات وتضحيات قواتنا المسلحة الباسلة والقوات الرديفة والحليفة وصمود شعبنا الأبي.
يعني الحمد لله مبارك لسوريا كلها عموما، لحلب خصوصا بهالف مرحله كبيره اني خلصنا من اخر مسلح كان بعذبونا هون. الحمد لله رب العالمين ارتحنا وفرحانين كثير.
اهل حلب ان شاء الله نرجع مثل ما كنا يا رب، ان شاء الله يكونوا مسافرين يرجعوا.
That's all in this edition of Breakfast News. Thanks for watching. Have a great day ahead.